He was just another mechanic at Dock Bay 47, a nobody with grease-streaked hands and a badge that read T. Kellen, short for Taran Kellen, but no one ever used his full name. People passed him without noticing. He fixed shuttle engines, replaced corroded panels, and dodged the occasional unpaid lunch break. His dreams, if you asked him, were once vast. Pilot school, a name in the charts, maybe even command of his own vessel. But the gravity of survival on the rim pulled dreams down faster than any planet could. Taran was born on Helion 5, a mining moon known more for methane storms than civilization. When he was 6, a trade war blew through the system, and his parents vanished into the debris of forgotten alliances. The Commonwealth offered a relocation program, so Taran ended up bouncing from one government facility to another until he was old enough to disappear into the workforce. The docks were steady work, anonymous, and far from the politics of the Corps. He liked it that way. No one asked questions. He didn't offer answers. Then came the day of the drift. A Class 9 warship, battered and barely holding together, dropped out of hyperspace and crash-drifted into the outer bay zone. No identification code. No hail. It floated like a ghost, silent and blackened, as if it had clawed its way out of some hell and begged for rest. The outer sentries pinged it as non-hostile, but protocols kicked in. Military-grade scans, lockdowns, restricted access. Taran was ordered to prep diagnostic drones. That should have been it. Simple stuff. But the maintenance tech assigned to Bay Epsilon was out drunk, and the system flagged Taran as closest available. Orders came fast. Inside the warship, the air was stale and flickering with static. Lights blinked half-dead, like the ship was trying to remember how to breathe. Taran moved slowly, his gloved hands adjusting as his HUD synced with the ship's ancient systems. Most of the panels were fried, scorch marks, hull breaches sealed with emergency foam. He was halfway through a structural pass when the gravity cut out, and he floated, right into the bulkhead of the command deck. And that's when he saw him. Slumped in the captain's chair, still in uniform, was a man with one arm wrapped in emergency tape and the other holding a data core unit to his chest. His face was a jagged roadmap of exhaustion and wounds, but his eyes opened, bright, sharp, commanding, and they locked onto Taran like a targeting laser. "You're not command," the man said. Taran blinked behind his visor. "No, sir. Dockside mechanic. Here to run diagnostics." The man seemed to register the words slowly, as though dragging them through layers of fog. Then he said, "This ship is classified. You're not supposed to be here." "I figured," Taran muttered, trying to back away. "I'll just go and file the—" "What's your name?" the man barked. Taran Kellen. Something changed in the man's posture. His body slumped, but the eyes stayed fixed. "Kellen, as in Tobias Kellen?" "No relation," Taran said quickly. "Never heard of him." "Your father. That was your father." Taran stopped. The words didn't compute. "My father died in a mine explosion when I was 6. Wrong. He was an intelligence officer. Deep cover. Commonwealth lost track of him after the Sargon betrayal. He stayed hidden to protect you." Taran opened his mouth, but nothing came out. The man let the data cord drop to the floor. "Listen. They're coming. This ship held the last known coordinates of the Vault of Ardax. The Council wants it destroyed. But the Resistance, the real Resistance, needs what's inside that core." Taran stared down at the small device, just a rectangle of black metal. It didn't look like something worth dying over. "They'll erase everything," the man rasped. You have to take it. You're the last Kellen." "I'm a mechanic," Taran whispered. "I fix fusion rotors and grease landing struts. I'm not—" "You are," the man interrupted, his voice now raw with desperation. "Blood remembers, and they will know who you are. You have to run. Deliver that core to the Echo Assembly, and when they ask who you are..." He stopped, coughed, and died. Taran stood there for a full minute, the silence of the ship pressing in around him like a tomb. He picked up the core. What happened next blurred into motion. Sirens, soldiers, someone trying to restrain him until they scanned the core and the biometric tag encoded to it. Then everything changed. Suddenly he was surrounded by command-level officers, all of them staring at him with expressions part awe, part terror. One of them, tall, rigid, and bearing the insignia of a galactic general, stepped forward. "You are Taran Kellen?" she asked. "Yes," he said quietly, unsure whether to lie or run. The general saluted. "Then the chain of command is clear." "Sir." He blinked. "What?" "You carry the last directive. That makes you senior authority, in accordance with Emergency Protocol 12. Wait, I think there's been a..." But she was already issuing orders, her voice crisp. "Clear Bay 7 for hyperlift. Assign a shadow wing for escort. Prepare a secure channel to the Echo Assembly. He leaves in 20. Taran stood there, clutching the data core, watching people who outranked entire fleets jump to obey. He thought of greasy bolts and broken landing gear. Now he was being called Sir. They fitted him with command gear, slapped a biosignature, band on his wrist, and handed him a data sheet full of codes that no civilian should ever see. The ship they gave him, the Dauntless Vow, was old but fast, with stealth plating and a cloaking drive. The Shadow Wing pilots didn't speak much. They simply followed his trajectory like hawks in formation. En route, the general briefed him. The vault contains archives from before the Commonwealth split. Names, assets, evidence of betrayals. If the wrong side gets it, we lose everything. The man who died on that ship was General Darnak, loyal to the end. He chose you. That carries weight in our ranks." "I'm not him," Taran said. "No, but you're his successor. Blood matters in this war, and courage, even more." They reached the rendezvous point in 6 hours, a moon disguised as a salvage ring. Taran stepped out onto a platform surrounded by cloaked ships and grim faces. He handed over the core. There was silence as the techs plugged it in, then a cheer. The data was intact. The resistance would live. Plans would change. Worlds would survive. Taran turned to leave, already wanting the smell of grease and the clank of tools. But the general stopped him. "We need you," she said. "You've seen what's coming. You know what this war will take." "I'm not a hero. No one starts out as one," she replied. "But sometimes, when the stars align, fate doesn't ask for readiness, just response." He looked down at the stars below the platform, scattered like sparks across the dark. Taran Kellen, dockside, mechanic, ghost of a forgotten legacy, nodded once, and the general saluted him again. "Welcome to command, sir."